Hey guys, this is the Let's Get Ballyer Talking podcast. I'm Riker, my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Sal, my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Brian, my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Dan, I go by any pronouns.
Yeah, so this podcast is going to be bringing to light some of the issues and aspects of being part of the LGBT community, both within Ballyfermot, which is our area, and the surrounding area of like Dublin and Ireland in general as well. We'll be bringing forward our own experiences and our own stories, things that we've seen, things that we've heard as well. So
the topics we discuss on this podcast will be colour coordinated. Typically, most of them will be assigned to each colour that is represented on the rainbow, which is usually the symbol of pride. Obviously, the final one being called Pride, which will lead into our actual event here at Familibase Ballyfermot, will be held on Pride morning, June 29th for this year in 2024. Every year, the Familibase organise a breakfast that is based on celebrating community and celebrating pride in the community. And if you want to come in, we'll have a stall there. If you have any questions of stuff, whether it's being discussed on the podcast, if it's personal issues, or if anything you just want to ask us, feel free to let us know, because we'll all be there, hopefully. It is an open table, so literally just come up. There's no queue or any sort of stupid thing you need to do. Just come up and ask us, please.
Keep in mind, this is all just a bit of fun. We're not professionals. We're just speaking about things that affect us and our own experiences. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy, and on to the episode.
Hey guys, welcome to the last episode of our podcast. In this one, we will just be covering the whole rainbow. We're out of colours, so this one is just Pride. And in this, we will be talking about Pride, specifically parades, and representation. So, what do the Pride parades mean to you guys personally?
My experience with parades hasn't been the best, full stop, with Pride. I still absolutely support it for like the idea that, hey, we get to celebrate that we actually get to be humans, that we actually have these rights and they've been fought for years. I feel like that idea of the parade is fantastic. Other, say, personal experiences, they wouldn't overall change what Pride means in the Pride parade. They just affect me personally. So I wouldn't have the best of experiences with Pride. And that's perfectly fine. That's just one in a million. I don't speak for Pride parades in general. There's so much attention and engagement in so many communities that put together this huge event to celebrate people. And for me to have a bad experience, it's just one out of many. I could have a really good experience this year, I could have a really bad one. It's just, it's up to personally how you feel about it.
What about yourself?
yeah, well, we would have been the same as well. We were kind of late to the game to go to the Pride parades, because it wasn't, again, we would have come out kind of later on in life, and the idea of going to the parade, the novelty of it had kind of worn off. We always did something for Pride, whether it was meet up and hang out together to celebrate it. I came from a very largely LGBT like friend group. So we kind of had bits of everybody and bits of pieces of it, nearly everything in there. So we always did something, but kind of attending the parade was never really a thing that we did. It's the same lines that, like, I know people who go to the parade religiously and have done for like nearly 10 years. They will always go to the parade. They always have gone to the parade. You know what I mean? It's just not something that we kind of did. I wouldn't be opposed to going. I'm like, and it's great, and it's a great day, and I love the fact that we still have it. But it's just not something that we would have done from my area. So,
what about you, Dan?
Well, the only time I've gone to a Pride parade was last year. It was cool.
Perfect.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't really be my thing, because I don't really like huge groups of people. But yeah,
That's
but when I was there, like, it was nice. It was nice seeing like a large group of gay people being able to just express themselves. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry, it was nice seeing a large group of gay people.
I don't know, what else was
What do gay people
It
exist?
just caught me off guard.
It was nice to see queer people expressing themselves. And just like hanging out with, like, it was my first time just hanging out with like a group of gay people, and just like that was like the real like first time doing something like that, I guess. It was nice to experience at least once.
I think like I have a bit of a different experience, because I've been going since 2015. The first couple, I think I went to the first 3 prides after that, so 2015, 2016, 2017. Thought they were great. there was the whole. Honestly, I think I thought they were great because I was young. Because I completely overlooked the fact that I had to like scrub LGBT makeup off the faces of children before they got on the Lewis, so they didn't get hate crimed.
Yeah.
That was just a normal thing to me. I didn't realize how messed up that was at my young age of 15, 16, 17. But like I think even back then though, Pride was different.
Yeah.
Like I don't go to Dublin Pride anymore. I didn't go to the parade last year. I think I went the year before, and just something about it felt different. Now it could have been because it's been a few years since I've been to the Pride parade. I'm older now, stuff like that. But I've also been to Pride parades in different counties. Like I've been to Galway Pride. I can't remember where else I've been. But I've been to the smaller ones, and I actually think the environment in the smaller Pride parades is nicer because the community is more tight-knit, it's more open. It's like there's so many people at Dublin Pride. You can't connect.
Yeah.
You might find one or two.
That's why we kind of did our own thing outside of the parade, because you were still able to connect with people, and you're gonna run into other people as well.
100%.
You're gonna run into other groups that don't want to go into town and be part of the kind of the mass amount of humans that are there.
Yeah.
So like that's why we kind of did our own smaller thing instead. Like.
That's sort of thing. Like if Ballyer had something like that more local. Now I say that obviously is with like here we have like Pride breakfast for example, but something continuing the day. Say like even Parmesan for example, they have a small parade for like that stuff. It's a small one. It's a local community thing.
Why'd you
like,
say that stuff like you were hate crime?
Hate
for
crime
that stuff.
No, but like Parmesan do, like they do their own parade for a small one for Patrick's Day.
Okay.
And they do small like celebrations outside of.
It's people who don't want to venture out into town, because town is actually like when I went there, it was overwhelming. I get it. It's so many people that sometimes it's an uncomfortable environment for a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like when I'm going, like that's where like my negative experience comes in. Is that it was overwhelming how many people. Like it was. I don't like people touching me. So when my personal space is completely invaded by crowds of people where I have to shove off different people and all their sweat and gunk is just going off me, it's just no thanks.
Yeah, no,
I sure hope no one has gunk.
I would be the exact same. Like that's what I mean. Like we would have been 16, 17, our first kind of prides. Yeah. So the novelty of going to the parade, we'd already gotten to that older side of things and kind of started to wear off it. And anyways, I think it's great for the younger kids.
100%.
The kind of the young teens and the baby gays, as we refer to them.
That's what I mean. Like when I first came out and started going to parades, like it was great.
Yeah.
I knew nobody.
And you're meeting people that are the same age and the same thing, and they're going through all the same stuff, and it's great for meeting people.
And I'd be exactly the same as Ryan in the sense of I hate. It's particularly strangers. I have no problems with my mates. Yeah. But if I have to physically contact another stranger, I will cry. But also, I'm a huge fella, so I was used as the battering ram. So I had no choice.
I was able to like slip in between everybody.
Literally, it was a case of people were grabbing the back of my shorts and I was just
pushing
going.
Yeah. We had one of them.
Yeah, it was me from my group.
I had a different thing, but like I didn't have the group for the first while of it, so I was trying to navigate and try to find people, and you get lost in that crowd, for example. Because normally, like I know town, so I go around different places, and then suddenly all these places I'm comfortable going down are closed off. Yeah. I'm like, shit, where do I go now? The only thing in front of me is a massive crossway while people are standing around waiting for the parade and stuff like that. And there's people who do take advantage of that, unfortunately, and that's what like some people go and just touch you without permission. That's where my negative experience came in. That was just natural with festivals and just every crowded place in general. There's always going to be a bad batch of people that are just going to ruin it for me.
Yeah, and ruin it for everybody.
Exactly,
by just doing stuff they don't consent to. Yeah. Just having a bad buzz, and that's where my negative experience with Pride came in. But I'm sure everyone else there that didn't have that stuff probably enjoyed it. They probably enjoyed it a lot more than I did. Being like, oh my god, yes, we get to boo Leo Radgar in the parade.
Yay!
I know I touched off it when I was giving my own experience of Pride parades, but do you think that over the years the Pride parade has changed meaning?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like now it's an excuse for a big piss up.
Yeah.
Which is really sad to think. Like, yes, we've come so far and we've done so much, but kind of since the gay referendum, it's kind of just become an excuse to be a giant party. Yeah. Instead of this whole look at what we've done, look what we fought for, look what we've done, but also look where we need to go.
Sure, it's the same thing with St. Paddy's Day. Like,
it's
you could ask anyone St. Patrick's Day, what's that about? Like it's an excuse to go out with the lads for a few drinks.
It's a sad thing that comes with parades and events eventually. It's like you look at the stark difference of footage of Dublin where like Pride parades used to be completely about love. It was always just about connecting as a person. Nowadays it's who can perform the most, who can put so much attention on them as centre stage. It's all a big publicity thing.
Yeah, who can wear the most rainbows on the day, who can or even the likes of going Stephen...
Who's the draggiest of drags?
Or even the likes of going Stephen's Green or stuff like that. It's like they always have a game of points.
Because they attempted it.
Who can meet the most people. And it doesn't matter the gender because it's Pride. And you have a game of points with your friends to see who gets the most points by the end of the day.
One of the prides that I went to was post-lockdown. And there was one thing where they tried to regarner that love thing again. And they had a centre stage in the park where everyone ends not the festival, but like the Pride March too. And they had the stage where they were addressing really important issues and stuff like that about Pride and how, say, like where I got my information from about gay parents, for example, where like one of them will actually not be considered as a parent of their child, and that's such an important issue that needs to be addressed. And it was ruined by someone who was not affiliated with it, didn't care about love, yada yada. It was that one bad apple that got on stage and attacked your man. Well, he had his child on stage, keep in mind, he was drunk, and he just went on and attacked him. And from then on, they stopped it completely. They don't even have those things. It's purely performance now because they're so afraid of that happening again. The bad apple should not change what Pride means to people. And I think people need to start realising that more, is that we can't change that because one person ruined it for everybody. We need to stand stronger and start putting that message out more, because we haven't seen any coverage of that since. No, I haven't seen any coverage of like gay parents not being able to have access to their child. They say that their partner dies, who's the biological parent of the child, where that's the whole thing where like if they die, the other parent doesn't get access to the child. And that's like it should be almost a referendum again for that. Like that's a right that's being revoked by people for just having a different sexuality, and for that to be not addressed anymore because of the fear of the bad apple ruining Pride's image of being this lustrous and wonderful place, that they've honed in on it so much where Pride is no longer tackling issues because issues are too dangerous for media, or they're too dangerous to cover.
It's too political.
It's too political.
Pride should be about having fun.
Pride is meant to be political.
That was the point.
That's the whole point of Pride, and for it to lose its identity, I feel like Pride has lost its identity entirely.
That actually rolls in because I think it has an effect on this next question. Is Pride Month necessary? And the reason I say that is I think the month is necessary. Because for those who don't know, Pride Month, each day means a different thing in the LGBT community. So like you'll have a day for gay men, you'll have a day for lesbian women, bisexual people, trans people, everything. And I think that's great and all, but I also think that Pride Month should be utilised to raise these issues. Because we all know the parade is just this big glamorous, what's the word?
The parade's nearly a distraction at the end of it.
Yeah, the parade would be like a distraction. No one is thinking about the issues of the Pride of the LGBT community at the Pride parade. No. So I think the month leading up to this parade, because the parade is the last Saturday of every June. I think the month leading up to that, awareness needs to be brought about things that are still holding down and oppressing LGBT people.
It needs to be utilised correctly. There's a whole month where you see the lead up to Saturday, and that's when everything's done on Saturday. But the lead up to it, all you see about it is just constant hate. That's the only coverage you see on media.
Oh, these gays are going to be out in town.
Oh my god, here goes again. Where's my veteran month? The one you just missed, by the way. The one that was in May. The one you said nothing about. What about Men's Mental Health Month? Oh yeah, that's also celebrated with Pride. If you were celebrating Pride, you'd be celebrating men's health, But all those issues are like just put aside because we need to get the merchandise out first for Saturday.
And I think that's what it's become as well. It's let's get our merchandise out before it reaches the end, so that people can like spend more money. Rainbow capitalism at its fucking peak finest. Let's make as much money off the gay people as we can, because they're gonna obviously fucking spend money on t-shirts with rainbows so that they can go out at the end of the month to prove that they're gay enough to be at this parade.
Next, they're gonna do discounts for gays. Discounts. They go one place and just
the same way you get a student discount.
Yeah.
Gay discount.
But like the whole.
They charge you more.
You get $10 extra.
Like Pride Month, just nearly reiterating what you have said, it should be utilised better. It should be about bringing up the issues that still stand against the community, that are still oppressing us as people, and not just be about, here's a pretty parade at the end of it, yay, we like gay people.
Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe that Pride Month should be used to celebrate how far we've come.
Yes.
But we're not there.
No.
We
have not reached the
finish line. Until LGBT people are treated by everyone the same way as everyone else is. Because I know people treat us better than they did, but it's still not good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're not equal to everyone.
If there are still groups of people out there who will attack you because you're part of the community, we have not done enough.
No. And on a lighter note, do you personally do anything for Pride? Because I know you said that you used to hang out locally with your group of friends. I don't go to the parade anymore because similar with Ryan, bad experiences.
Yeah. No, I don't go either.
And I know your first Pride was last year with us.
So we started doing the breakfast mornings here in 2019. 2019 was the first Familibase breakfast morning.
Okay.
And we were meant to have one in 2020, but obviously COVID kind of shut it down, which was a bit shit.
Homophobic.
COVID was completely homophobic. But no, and it was the first the first kind of small community celebration, and it was literally that. We had the music group come down and put on a few songs. It was mostly Spotify, but like RT came and covered the day, and it was like put on the national news at 6 o'clock that we did this thing. And the community involvement, the amount of people that came down was insanity. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone was like, we don't have to go to town to celebrate this. And then obviously COVID, we didn't do it, but like we're 24 now, 22 and 23, we did it again. So we had another breakfast morning in 2022. We brought it back after coming out of COVID. We did a bigger one then again last year because we kind of had our group set up, and now this year I'm hoping it's bigger again and we can get back to where we were back in 2019.
100%, yeah.
So like I've been doing that for the last 5 years, and then it's the normal hang out with friends afterwards.
Yeah, like I've only been in the group 2 and a bit years now.
Yeah.
So like, so 2 years ago would have been my first Pride breakfast morning with the Familibase. I missed last year due to work, but this year I will not be missing it due to work. And when I joined the group, like, and I heard that we were doing a Pride breakfast morning, I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Free food for being gay, yeah.
No, I don't mean just that. That was a nice bonus, but like that we have a small community thing.
Yeah.
To celebrate being people. I've mentioned it several times during this podcast. I've mentioned it several times during this podcast, but I spent most of my formative years in the west of Ireland, where we barely had Feroga. Like,
and y'all voted no to the
referendum. And also Roscommon voted no to the referendum. Only county in Ireland to vote no, and I lived in the depths of it.
As a very trans gay man.
Do better, Roscommon.
Like, we didn't have anything like that. I fought tooth and nail to try and get an LGBT group in the town that my school was in. To no avail. I think they might have one now. I'm not too sure.
Ask the siblings.
Yeah, I'll get one of them to check. But there was nothing, absolutely nothing for us. So to move back here and find out, hey, we got this cool little thing the morning of Pride. Come down, eat some food, listen to some music, paint some faces, because I was a volunteer. I actually think my little cousin came along and made me paint the straight flag in his hand. It was really funny. Bless his little heart. He was only a little kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought it was so cool that we have this small community thing, and I will never go back to Pride.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we still have a Pride parade. Don't get me wrong.
That's...
I just can't stand town when it's that busy.
Yeah.
I don't even go in on match days if I can avoid it.
I don't go in on Fridays if I can help it. Like,
it's traumatic.
I don't go in unless I have a group of friends surrounding me, so I don't have to touch anyone I don't know.
Yeah.
Like for me, that like the first Pride breakfast that I went from here was last year.
Yeah.
I was late to it, obviously. You know,
You were fashionably late.
Fashionably late.
I don't think you've ever been on time for anything, right?
Sure.
No.
I
You've
know,
not even been
it's
on
very
time
true.
for these podcasts, but
I know. It's okay. 3 minutes today. 3 minutes today was only. Okay. Anyways, my first breakfast thing, my first private breakfast here in Familibase would have been last year, and it was cool to see that like I actually didn't have to venture into town to go do something. It actually felt more comfortable, and I've actually discussed this with a lot of my friends. For example, is that they're not from the LGBT community, but they'd love to celebrate Pride. But they ask, "What are your plans for it?" If I mention anything to do with town, it's no, we're going local.
Yeah.
I was like, well, hey, now we actually have something local. We have a fucking breakfast to go to.
Yeah.
We've food. We've food for being gay. So I got to
And music.
and music. Food and music for being gay. I feel like that's a plentiful reward, a bountiful reward.
It's a little treat.
A little treat.
You've made it to the end of June.
Yeah, hooray! We survived June.
we'll feed you now. It's okay.
But it was nice going in an environment where it's like, hey, I'm already comfortable in the local area, and I go and get, you know, food, I get to talk to people, get to just enjoy Pride morning instead of just being like, oh, I have to get dressed and get ready for town, and then mentally prepare myself for so many people to surround me.
Yeah.
And mentally prepare yourself for trying to get out of town.
Yeah. Never mind getting in. Getting in is not the problem. Getting home
is the
problem.
single worst thing that happens on Pride every single year. I had to wait until 4:30 in the morning to get a taxi home because the buses
You were
were shut.
lucky.
I was very lucky, yes.
Jesus.
Last year I wanted to walk home only for I had 2 other people with me.
Yeah.
Like,
And our night
I think
bus
last year I
cancelled.
did end up walking home with one of my
yeah,
friends.
because you left me early, didn't you?
Yeah. I ended up walking home with somebody.
I would have, if I was on my own, I would have.
Yeah.
But it's an actual nightmare. And even then, the bus was packed. Like, there was a fellow with a giant pizza on, handing out pizza to people. But no one could actually move. Yeah, bless that man. I
That
hope
was
he's
so
having a great
nice.
time. He was just handing out slices of pizza, like.
That's so cute.
He got on the bus, and I mean, we are like sardines.
Yeah.
Like, there are people standing on the stairs, kind of packed.
Yeah.
There are people standing upstairs. And this bloke is downstairs with like a 20-inch pizza handing out slices. But no one can even move to grab them off.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's just trying to. Here, take it!
Take one, pass it on.
But yeah, no, I am for the whole small little outings for Pride, rather than giant parades. That is very scary.
It's much more personal to the idea of what Pride means to you.
Yeah.
What it means to you personally, and that's just spending time with family and friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good lead into the next one. Do you feel represented by Pride Month?
No.
What you mean?
Yeah, I don't feel represented by Pride Month, and that's just a personal thing. Once more, the way I was saying it wrong, where like Pride isn't personally for me. I don't think it personally represents me either. I don't feel like I would be represented in that sort of community that way. How I express myself.
Yeah.
The way I express myself is totally different to what another person who's from the community would present themselves. And if they find my comfort in how Pride represents them, that's totally fine. I'm all for it. But for me, what Pride would mean to me is once again spending time with family and friends.
Yeah.
I would much rather be in a comfortable environment where I feel safe, I feel happy, I feel like me.
Yeah.
And that's for me to decide what to do. And if that's to spend it locally this year, which I'm much more comfortable about, then yes, I will absolutely do that. And I love the idea of just going local and not having to expend a fake version of myself to adapt to these standards that Pride puts on you. They expect you to be who you are, but the be who you are has to be this certain list of gay. And going in there and not feeling safe or comfortable or how Pride really should represent me was not for me entirely. And I don't diss Pride for that. I just don't think it's for me. I don't think it's for me, full stop. It doesn't represent me. Only I can represent who I am.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What about you, Sal?
I feel like now, because of the addition to our community events, I feel more represented by Pride Month than I ever would have kind of as a younger teen.
Yeah.
Because the same thing, the only thing that was ever a thing was, oh, let's all go to the parade at the end of the month and never talk about it ever again.
Never talk about actual Pride Month. And
look at what we've done.
Yeah.
This is the last episode. This is the Pride episode of such an informative podcast that was needed because no one else is talking about these issues. No one else feels comfortable to, so fuck it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
So like especially this year, I am so much more comfortable in what Pride is meant to be for me and how I'm being represented in Pride because we've done something like this.
Yeah.
Because now I've taken ownership of Pride Month. And I've dealt with the issues and talked about the issues that should be talked about anyway. And kind of brought it back to what it's meant to be in anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you, Dan? Do you feel represented by Pride Month?
Not by the parade, personally. Like, yeah, because I'm just not, like, loud, outgoing, I'm gay. But yeah, I do agree with Sal that, like, I feel like working on something like this where, like, it feels like I'm talking about like actual changes in the community, stuff like that. If it feels a lot better, like to feel like I'm making a difference, and like that's that's what Pride's actually about. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's great to take part in that.
Yeah, I can actually agree with both of you on that but from a different perspective. I mean, I guess I've never felt represented by the parade, except for my first year going to the parade because I was like, woohoo, I'm gay and I'm here now. But I'd also like to point out my first Pride parade, they blasted me on TV, and then my auntie texted me and was like, proud of you. I was like, thank you? What do you mean? She goes, you were on telly. Thanks for that, cameraman. I could have been in the closet in an unsafe home. Be careful. I'm kidding.
No.
But like I said, like in school, I was the person people came to.
Yeah.
So, and like with them following me on my social medias, and I used to post every day of Pride Month, and I always did this. I always brought awareness. I always brought up stuff. I brought up what every day meant. I brought up things that were happening in the community, in the world. But like doing something like this is what it's always meant to me. Like Pride Month has always been about talking about the actual community and not just some big flashy parade. And speaking of community, do you feel represented in your own community?
I do now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Prior to COVID, probably not, because we only got one Pride morning before COVID. Obviously COVID hit and nobody could do anything. 2021, Ballyfermot put up their own parade and we walked around Ballyfermot roundabout and we blocked off all the roads and we did our own Pride parade 100%. Because no one could go to town. Yeah. And they all decided, fuck that, we're still going to represent the people that want to do it. From that moment, kind of post-COVID, it's gotten better. Yeah. And there's less stigma around it. We can go to events and be seen as the gay group and not feel like we're going to get completely harassed or attacked because we're there. And like even I feel like, because obviously the Familibase hosts so many different groups. Yeah. But like you walk into this building, there's stuff from every single group there, including ours. Yeah. Like I didn't really see much of that in the west of Ireland. I sound like I'm Amish. I sound like I've escaped a cult. It was just Roscommon, I swear. I swear. Same thing. Roscommon itself is a fucking cult, man. It is nice to just be able to walk into a building and be like, that's something we worked on. Yeah. That's something we worked for. And like, we're gonna have this podcast up. This is something we've put months of strenuous work into. I've cried over this podcast. This is my child. But it's nice to have that and have it just be out there and not hidden away. Yeah. That's a positive thing about Familibase, is that there is that level of representation. Even if it's just a small one, it's representation for us. We are a group of 4. It's a group of 4. But we are representing. We are mighty. We are small, but we are mighty. We are the feckin' mighty pups, boys. Let's go. Apes together, strong. We're representing ourselves, but we're also given the chance to represent other people, that people like us, where we wouldn't have had that. So we're giving that to other people through this program and through the efforts of Familibase as well, where like we have a resource for that. Without it, where would we've done it? I don't know. Without it, there'd be nothing like this. Yeah. But even like, there's still a lot to work on. There's definitely a lot to work on, and once again, I'm the one of the persons that still to this day doesn't feel represented. Maybe it's just a personal strife with me. It's definitely a personal strife. But again, you're new. Yeah. You're a baby gay. I am a baby gay. It's very true.
but it's also the fact that I don't feel like I belong to any of these labels. So it's a big thing for me where like whatever was standard protocol or what was already represented doesn't feel like me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. A lot of people do definitely find more comfortability in the way I see things and perceive it, especially talking to people who aren't comfortable with the idea or relatively new to the idea of like LGBT, its issues and stuff, because it's starting to come up in mainstream media and stuff.
Yeah.
So they'll turn to the only gay person they know in their area, and that would be me. Unfortunately, me.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately, they know me.
The one person with very big social issues, and I have to basically demograph an entire audience. So I turn it into a like, hey, it's up to perspective. Like for me, once again, I don't feel these negative things. It doesn't speak for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone here obviously feels a lot more represented than me. That's totally fine, and I'm all for that, because the more people that feel it, the better. And it's maybe one day I will feel that.
Yeah.
But for now, I need to work.
You are baby me, but just more well spoken.
But also, you are now the voice. You are the current voice of people who don't feel represented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's so important about our group, is the fact that we're 4 people. It's a small group. We're not going to get everyone represented.
Yeah.
But we have such different backgrounds and different stages of coming out and living as an LGBT person.
Yeah.
So I think it's crucial that we have little baby Ryan over here.
It's good to
as
have
opposed to me, who's been out since I was like
the absolute veterans that are me and Riker.
It's good to have that diverse cast of like opinions and views and stuff, because if we were all to just have I was perfect in a family where like I grew up and I followed my dreams of being a gay icon.
People would listen to that and be like, fuck off.
After the first 2 minutes, be like, right, fuck off, perfectly.
Sorry for touching your knee like that.
It's okay.
I just accidentally caressed you.
I know. You were flicking your arm and I was in the way. It's fine.
It's your fault, Ryan.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that we have that diverse cast. We have whether it's to do with your issues, my issues, your issues, your issues. We at least have some place to put them, and other people to actually listen to them and be like, hey, I have those issues too. Or maybe they have the thing like, oh, maybe I should go on there and say what my issues are.
Yeah.
Give them the platform, the idea to be like, hey, you can actually speak about this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it remains hidden.
That's what our open table can be.
Yeah.
If you want to come forward and say, I've had this problem in the community, please do.
Yeah.
Please come on the 29th of June. Come talk to us. Come share your own experiences. Well, yeah, sure. Like me and Sal especially have been in this community years.
Yeah.
There's still so much we can learn from other people's experiences. There's stuff I've learned from Sal's experiences.
There's stuff I've learned from yours.
Yeah.
And we came out at the same time.
Exactly.
I've learned too much from these two.
We've adopted baby Ryan here.
In the process of adopting Dan, don't worry.
But I do hope that with our different perspectives and our different upbringings and our different views on things in the LGBT community, I do hope that it has helped someone out there.
Yeah.
Even if it's just to learn about what gay people are.
It's a start.
It's a start. And that's all we need.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we'll end our final episode.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Any final words?
Go team.
Go team. It was nice to sort of challenge different topics that I wouldn't be comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a big thing, considering like once again I am new, not necessarily new to the information, but it's weird hearing it from a very personal one-to-one from the 4 of us, that we all have a different approach to what we identify as our community, our pride, what it is, and that's what's so human about it. It makes that this podcast is more human. It makes it so you can listen to it as a person. It's not like, oh my god, I have to listen to what this person does. Oh my god, It's personal, it's real, it's raw experience with a few Wikipedia facts from it. But I hope you enjoyed listening to us all ramble and make fun of each other. Thank you for making it through.
Yeah. If you survived this long, props to you.
Yeah, well done. We will give you a round of applause. Well done.
But again, we've rambled on about Pride Breakfast Morning so much. But again, it is the 29th of June. I don't think we have a time for it yet.
We don't currently have a time, but again, keep an eye on the Familibase Facebook page. I'm sure it'll be posted there. And come say hi. Come see the people you've been listening to for
God knows how long by the time this is edited. Come talk to us. Come ask us more about our experiences. If there was one story that really resonated with you, come make us tell you more.
If there was stuff that we missed, please tell us what we
missed.
Please
do tell us
what your experience.
If you have more information on something we briefly covered, or you want to debate about something, please do come talk to us.
Yeah.
Gays love arguing. Please come and
argue. Don't argue with us. I am sensitive. I
may cry.
I am not sensitive. I'm big man.
But yeah, 29th of June, definitely get down here. It is Familibase in Ballyfermot, and we cannot wait to see you all.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't actually know where the Familibase is, if you know where the playground is in Ballyfermot
and the swimming pool,
we're literally like right beside it.
Yeah. We're also like on Google Maps as well, so if anyone gets confused, straight to Google Maps, Familibase Ballyfermot on Blackditch Road, you will find us.
Sure, look, I'll probably be stalking the comments on these podcasts, and anyways, if you want to know where we are, put it in the comments. I'll respond personally. I've got you. But yeah, unless anyone else has anything to add, I think that's us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you again.
Thanks for listening.
Our last day.
Hope to see you on the 29th on our last day.
Day.